Hey, Donnie. Hey, I know who you are. Hey.
Just give us your artist name and what kind of work you create.
Got you. So my artist name is Donnell, and the work that I create, I guess you could classify it as alternative hip hop or alternative music sometimes. Because really the whole thing is just all like being positive, kind of just expand on that and putting my Baltimore experience, but just making it more positive rather than like a lot harder. Kind of just let people know that Baltimore has like multiple sides to it and just not one side.
Cool. Where did you get your start? So I guess what was like the first rhyme you wrote, or like what first moment just was like, all right, this is it for me?
Probably say like in sixth grade because my uncle, his name Hunter Grandman, he like the first Baltimore rapper to get a DJ drama mixtape back when those were like the cool things to do back in the day. So I used to live with him at his house, and I was like, dang, this man got money. What I'm saying? He got Rolexes, bright lens, driving Benz and stuff. And I was living with him at the time. I was like, I gotta start rapping. I gotta start rapping. But then that's probably like the first time I would say that the idea of like making music came into my mind. And of course, like over time you find out what you want to do and you start making music specific to you and what you want to put out there. But that was like the first time I was like, I'm gonna consider this.
Okay. So I see that the promo right now for your latest project, or like anything that you put out as far as content, is more so like the colors are more so like the pastel, and like you got like the I would say the very soft like overlay for the videos. What's the math, or like the magic, or the master plan behind using like that along with your content?
Personally to me, I just kind of like the softer colors. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't really be thinking too much about it. But I do try to keep things more so like on the softer end, not because it's like soft music or anything, but just because those are kind of things I feel like represent the music, and those it like relates to the music itself. So like having the colors match up with the tone you're probably going to feel like when you listen to it. That's something that I'm like super big on. So I just want everything to be cohesive, even if it's just the color for the cover art or anything like that. Because I feel like all of those things play like a big part, and especially since my big motto is just you should smile more, you should be positive. So I want to keep everything like away from like darker tones and things like that. So I want to keep it more on a brighter up and up tone like side of things.
Cool. So I know you have this thing about smiling. Like, you're smiling a lot of your pictures. You got like a little slogan for smiling. What would you say is your reason for smiling?
I would say that the reason for smiling, man, is honestly for myself, is just just try to like be the hero of your own like journey. And I know that might come off corny to some people, but the only reason I say that is because a lot of my favorite artists, they make like a lot of hopeful music that we probably all listen to, to feel better about ourselves throughout the day. Because my top three are like J. Cole, Kid Cudi, and then Kyle. So like those are like all the people who make music where you want to like feel good about yourself, where you feel like you can be a hope to somebody or be hope to like yourself. So that's where I kind of like take all of those three and just use it, for myself. And You Should Smile More was just something that I came up for me. And that's like why I want to just keep going, because I want to eventually show people like, yo, you can continue to try and you can get stuff done. And just because somebody might send out something can work out for you or whatever, you can do it. It's because at the end of the day, it's all up to you to do it for yourself. I'm just trying to show people if I can do it, you can do it. And then we should all just be positive about it.
Cool. How is Donnell with the haircut, the artist, different? So Donnell with the artist with the haircut, how is he different from the artist you are now?
With the haircut, ooh, that was a rough time. Honestly, I wouldn't really say too different. As far as like with the haircut, the thing of, I say personally right now, I think I've grown a lot more since I've grown my hair. I don't know if it's spirituality or whatever, they be talking about, but I don't think it's too much of a difference. I just think personally for me, I just feel like every artist got to have like something, you know what I'm saying? Like hair or anything like that to kind of like fit like whatever theme or anything like that you're personally trying to go for. Because looks and everything like that do matter once you're trying to like make music.
True.
So you should, yeah.
Okay. So you don't necessarily make, I would say, like this, not the standard, but what the type of music that everybody thinks a Baltimore artist make. So either like club music or like strictly like rap that's even underground or hardcore. Have you ever been viewed different because of like you like the style that you choose to go with as far as your artistry?
Yeah, I think, yeah, so like, because I used to do like shows and stuff in Baltimore and things, and there were times like I would do shows and I'd be like, this feels awkward. Not because like I'm not confident in what's going on. It's just kind of like been, you know, like the elephant in the room. Everybody doing everything, and then you just come out there and talk about, hey guys, we should probably like be positive and something. So it kind of like is a drastic difference, but I don't think it's something that's like that was a hindrance of it. Because it's not like I'm still not from Baltimore. I've grown up in Baltimore City, so I still had the same experiences. I just decided to just build in a way that I guess other people can consume it. Because, you know, I feel like that's kind of what, you know, people in music want and everything like that. They want you to be like an angry black man and things like that. And through my personal experiences, I don't really want to come off like that because that's like we're under the bridge for me. And I feel like, you know, we can show people like from our area that you can be positive and that they could just grow up and do whatever they feel comfortable with. You know what I'm saying?
So with your music, you pretty much mixing, I'm gonna say, when the person hears the beat without the lyrics, they're like, all right, it's gonna be like, it's about to be a fire rap song. But the lyrics come in and they so happy that you just have no choice but to just feel good and accept whatever you listen to, even if you listen to like hardcore rap or you just R&B. But like, how did you come up with that plan to like, yo, I'm gonna mix these bomb beats with these amazing lyrics? Like, how did you figure that out?
I'm gonna be honest. So I was at one of my friend's house, and this man was like, I like was singing something, and he was like, "Hey, don't you ever do that again?" And then like ever since that day, I just started more so like sing rapping or just more just like chill rap. Because at first it was an idea that I was like scared to do, but then once he was like, "Don't do that," I was like, definitely do it. You're not gonna hold me back." And ever since this probably was like a couple years ago when he said that to me, and then this ever since that's kind of just the formula that I kept. Because the way I kind of look at it is like, I know like when we hear certain beats, there's already like a pattern or a certain melody that, you know, from other music that you hear, and you know those regular I don't want to say regular, but like the main, you know, like mainstream patterns and stuff like that, those kind of melodies, you're expecting to hear that. But when I used to listen to songs, I try to find the pattern that kind of like, I try to find a pattern that you wouldn't think that would be able to work for the song, if that makes sense. So sometimes I'm purposely trying to like see how far I can push it. But then other times it just come off naturally because I'm really like super selective for like when I make songs and stuff like that. Like I can hear hard beats and anything, but I'm like super picky because I'm trying to find something. I'm trying to be able to make something that's different where it's like my own, and in a sense where if somebody else was to sing like that, you'll probably be like, why is he doing that? And I feel like with our voices, we can kind of find our own patterns and do whatever we want with it and make something that works for you.
So where do you get your inspirations for pretty much like your caterings or like your style?
I would say J. Cole, Kid Cudi, and Kyle. I would put Kyle mostly for like, I would probably put Kyle like number one for just for like all the colors and the aesthetics, that Urban Outfitter like vintage vibe aesthetic and all the stuff that he do like that. Like I really like that kind of stuff. Like Kyle, like Amine. I like when those, you know, that I like that aesthetic, that vintage like Californian type aesthetic. So I would probably say Kyle probably play like a big role in all that stuff. And then yeah, I'll probably say Kyle's like the biggest influence. I'll probably say. I ain't gonna cap.
I was definitely thinking Kyle. I'm like, because I feel like we have artists here like that in Baltimore that kind of hits on his vibe. But it's like, if we had like a Baltimore Kyle, or like we need a Baltimore Kyle, like we could put you in that role. Like you make music along those lines that is like, it feel good. like it's rap music, and it go against like all the things that we think rap music should be, but it feels so good that we have no choice but to like, or we gotta listen to it. It's fine, like it's good. We can choose to listen to some other type of rap. So it is some good music. I'm gonna definitely tell you that.
Thank you.
So you have your own like glow, like looking at your page, listening to your music, like you could tell that you're on your own path. Like you are only listening to like your voice when it comes to like criticism and things like that. How do you protect that aura? Like, cause it's hard to keep that sacred. So how do you protect that?
I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I would kick people out of the studio if there's people involved. Like, I know the more you make music, you should be comfortable doing things around people. But I like to more so just stay by myself, record by myself, unless it's somebody that I'm like actually like really close with, or we're friends, or there's other people that I make music with. But other than that, any outside opinions or voices, I really try to steer away from. So like, even if I was to send somebody a song, if I send you a song, don't send me a criticism, because I'm not asking you for your criticism. Because I feel like I don't think I know everything, or I don't think I know it all, but I know what I want to do for music. So really, I just try to stay away from other people's criticism, because I kind of know like where I want to go with it, and like what's the quality of sound and stuff that I'm trying to like reach and get next to. And I know that sometimes that may come as seem like arrogant, but if you doing like your own thing on your own path, you can't really take too much criticism from other people, because then you're going to start questioning like what you're doing, and is it even worth it?
If we were to spend a day with you, as far as like when you create music or doing like any content creation for like a project, what would that day look like?
What would that day look like? I ain't gonna lie to you, because I outsource. So anybody I work with is wild, because all the people that I work with in Baltimore specifically is like photography. So like any other stuff that you see, those are like all outsourced things, like art edits and like certain aesthetics. Those are made by somebody that I know who live in France. He live in Paris. His name is Spa, and he was like a fan of my music for like a couple years, and like, man, I'm just been like super tight. So like whenever I need content and stuff made, I just like text him, and he just go get it done. As far as videos and stuff, I usually outsource them. Only shot one video in Baltimore, but the rest has been like California and North Carolina. So like a lot of my stuff is outsourced, primarily. I mean, I'll still ask the question, but just go on a tangent. But a lot of my stuff is like outsourced primarily because like with Baltimore, I know it comes off like a tad bit strange because I'm not making like the music that everybody else is kind of making. Not trying to like separate the level, but it's kind of like different. And so a lot of my stuff, a lot of people are willing to help me that's outside of Baltimore more so. So that's why I do like a lot of outsourcing. But that's usually a typical day. I just hit people up and just like whoever I need to get stuff done, I'll just hit them up and they'll get it done for me.
Okay.
And that's usually it. I know that's a boring answer, but everything like outsourced, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we need those days, like, especially the people that are like behind, like their artistry. So like, if we're not only making our art, like we got to figure out how to promote our art, get our art here, get our art there. So yeah, it sounds like a typical artist day for people who just think it's all like, wake up, go get. No, it's not all pretty. Like, we gotta put in our work for real. No. So, yeah. To you personally, what is the best song you have wrote?
It's a song. It's a song that's not out. It's a song called For Sure. So it's actually produced by somebody else from Baltimore that I didn't even know was from Baltimore. His name is Rakeem Miles. This boy's doing big things, and he just hit me up out the blue like last summer. I didn't know who he was before this. He just like, yo, I listened to one of his songs. And he's like, yo, I'm from Baltimore too. And he just sent me a beat. As soon as I heard the beat, at first I kind of was a little worried. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't gonna cap. I was like, all right, he from Baltimore too. He about to sing some trap beats. So I was like, But then he sent me a beat that specifically fit like what I'm looking for. And I was like, oh, this is kind of hard. And this is like the most super positive, like, I don't want to say commercial, but it's like, if you was to hear this song, you would probably be like, it ain't no way you made this. Like, it's one of those songs, it's just super clean. And it's probably like my proudest thing that I've ever made. And it's like one of those songs that I did a lot for. I did a lot to get it done. And I'm like, and I got video and everything. It's unreleased. I know it'll definitely come out this year, but I'm super proud of that song though.
All right, we gonna wait on it. If you could create a program for the youth in Baltimore, what would be the name of the program and what would be the objective?
Personally for me, so this might sound odd, but I would probably, if I was to make a program in Baltimore, I probably would do a program that's more focused on like computer science and like STEM stuff. One reason I'm saying that is because I went to school for a little bit for computer science, and I think that's something that's like super dope to have, just to have that knowledge, because that can open a lot of doors, especially for kids who growing up in inner city and things like that. And I sound like a hypocrite because I'm an artist. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody should find that path and figure out what to do for them. But my personal program, I would want more kids to be focused on that stuff. I feel like it's a lot, you know, in the upcoming years in the future and things like that. There's a lot of things that's going to like, a lot of doors that's going to be open in that community, especially as young Black people. I think it's going to be great.
Okay. Yeah, I think you need more STEM projects as well, because it's a lot of kids like to work in the art, but getting them on a path that's like not necessarily art, but also like a big industry is great as well.
Right.
All right. So you seem like a very humble artist. What has been like the most surprising reaction you've gotten from like a fan or a supporter once they realize like you were you? Like you walked into a room, you was like chill, but then but then it was like, oh, hold up, that's like, what was the most surprising like response?
I'd probably say, dang, I haven't gotten like a couple. Probably, I want to say like, I mean, some in person, but like not Baltimore-ish. But like just like online and stuff like that. If like somebody like say something to me or anything like that, if I like reach out to them in a message, because usually anybody who listens to me, I try to make a one-on-one connection. Because I want them to know that like you're not just supporting me, I'm supporting you too, kind of thing. So usually the responses that I get is, you know, we'll talk. They'll start to like let me know about their life and stuff. You know, like people just feel like super comfortable with me, and it's kind of cool to see that, you know, how my music can like impact their lives and stuff like that. Not saying I don't think like too much of the music, but I just think it's kind of cool. Like somebody can listen to your music and be like, hey, this impacts my life. This makes me want to be a better person. And one of the bigger ones was like this kid. He probably was like 15 or 16 years old. When I first talked to him, he was doing like a lot of bad stuff, like going to jail, in and out stuff. Now this man owned like his own construction business and stuff. He'd be like, yo, your songs helped me get through all my darkest times and stuff like that. And it's like another dude, he's from California. I think it's like Carlos or something like that. He was like, yo, when I first started listening to you, I was going through a lot of like bad stuff. And now this man make like, I think he's a radiologist now, but like he had like a similar thing where he was doing a lot of bad stuff, going to jail and things like that. And it's just cool like to see those guys like prosper and stuff, and then having them reach back out. It's like, yo, I still support you. Your music helped me when I was going through like the worst times in my life. And it's just kind of cool to see how like stuff that you make can actually impact somebody, you know? And I feel like that's way better than like, of course, you know, 1 million followers and all that stuff. That'd be pretty cool too. But you know what I'm saying? Knowing that you made a difference in somebody else who you don't personally know, it's a different kind of like reward feeling.
That's dope. If you could collab with an artist to make an EP, who would it be?
I'm gonna say first, the ones that I know right now, personally, I would say my boy Bachi. He's an artist from Florida. I did a song with him. He's on my project right now. We got a couple like songs that's not out. They're gonna come out soon. And I would probably say my other friend Monte the Hokage. He's doing pretty good. He's killing it in North Carolina. But as far as like bigger artists, I would like to make an EP with. There's another artist from Baltimore too. His name Lonely God. He dropped like a song like probably like 2 years ago that just went like super viral. And like I know him too. He make more so like indie kind of music, but we got some stuff together too. And the last bigger artist, I probably would say, I need something with Kyle. Kyle need to pull up.
Okay. We're gonna have to send this to him. Like, Kyle, this is Yeah, send you an invitation to come make this with us. Like, come on, do this.
Dude,
Okay.
I'll be trying.
All right. As far as like your rap career, when you're in the studio, what role you think you've grown into? So like, have you become more familiar with like the producing part, or like, I don't know, like are you like interested in any of the other roles in the studio besides like just being the artist?
Yeah, it's come to my attention that I probably need to like start doubling down on just learning how to like engineer mixing and stuff like that. You know, because sometimes you got to make like slight edits and stuff on the cuff, and like sometimes people aren't going to always be available. So that's like something I've been like looking at and thinking about a lot this year to like get into that role. Because more so, how I usually put it, I'm more of a curator, like because I don't know how to do some of this stuff, but I know like what it should be like. So like to sign myself as a curator. But as far as a role, I definitely want to get into like engineering and things like that.
Okay.
Cool.
My bad. Last question. What show, song, or experience, or either all three, has helped you realize the impact your music has made?
Dang, that's a good one. I would probably say I have a song that I probably dropped like 2 or 3 years ago, and it's called "Hey Donnie," and that's literally like because that song was the first time I decided to start using like the pastel colors, start rapping more positive, and that song opened the doors to show me like it bridged. Basically, that song bridged the gap between me and actually trying to like make it in music, as far as showing me that I can reach other bigger artists and other bigger platforms and things like that. So I put out that song. The dude who made Uber Everywhere heard that song, sent me some free beats, and then like ever since that time, it was like, yeah, I think I could really do this. Like I don't know how long it's going to take. I was like, that just showed me just like you can be from Baltimore, a place where people don't really think that you should be doing anything. Put some songs on the internet, and somebody else believe in you too. So I was like, cool. I was like, dang. All right, I'm trying to make the music now.
Okay. Well, thank you for being a guest on the show today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be involved.
No problem.